Some people in this podcast have chosen to use voiceovers. Any similarity to actual person living or dead is purely coincidental.
Yeah.
Because you don't need to hit the child 50 times for them to get the same message you're sending across.
But I remember when I was in the bank once and I was in the queue and this lady had her child and the child wasn't listening. She was a Nigerian lady. The child wasn't listening. And then in the bank, she took off her slippers and whacked the child with the slippers. It was a big commotion.
Yeah, because you will now reach for an object to do the disciplinary. Because she could have
But
just
if she
used
was
her
in the
hand.
banking in Nigeria...
Then it probably would have been acceptable. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just speculating. But I'm just saying, is the fact that she reached for a weapon.
Hey guys, my name is Troy.
I'm Amma.
Welcome to the Chatz and Topz podcast.
Back again.
Okay.
All right, so
Welcome to another episode. Hey, Hammer, what's up?
Okay. Hi.
Hi,
I was just
Hammer.
about to sing, but I stopped myself.
You might as well. You should just do it.
No.
Make
I will
money
not
every
sing
day.
Adre Yankee.
Yeah.
Wherever I go, let your spirit follow me. You don't know about them songs there, do you?
Oh, definitely not.
Today, I refuse to stress myself out about things I cannot control or change. And as Troy says, you can't control the nouns. You can't control people, places, or things.
Simple as that. Well said, well done. So what you got for me?
Okay. Oh, and there was the quote that you sent me. Talk to yourself at least once a day. Otherwise, you may miss a meeting with an excellent person in this world. Okay. What have I got? Today, I have got this. I think I want to read it in this voice. I don't know why I'm being silly today. Okay. I have been married for 4 years. The first 2 years of our marriage, we were stationed in North Carolina, but I have since moved to Texas, where his family lives. Since moving to Texas, I've gotten to know my in-laws, and what I know is that they are all disrespectful, all of them, almost as if it's hereditary. Here are a few examples. I'm Korean and my husband's family is Mexican. My sister-in-law tried bulgogi, which is beef marinated in a sweet sauce, and gagged in front of me when she took a bite of it, spitting it out and complaining that she didn't expect it to taste like that.
Wow.
Every time we go out to eat, my in-laws will run the waiters back and forth, asking for special requests and refills. But if they don't like the food or they forget one item that they ordered, they will literally tip the waiter change from out of their pocket. I'm talking $5 on a $120 bill. If their service was amazing, if we go to a store or go to the gym and it's about to close, they will be the last people to leave. And not the last as in they close at 9 p.m. and they're leaving at 9. Last as in they close at 9 p.m. and we're barely walking out the door at 9:15.
Wow.
Every time an incident like this happens, my husband and I get into it. They usually end with my husband making excuses like, that's just the way my family is, or I don't care what people think, and neither should you. My last straw was when my mother was unexpectedly diagnosed with cancer, and she flew back from her home to take care of her while she was getting her chemo. Stayed for 2 weeks, needed to go back home to Texas for work and stuff like that. Can you guess who never reached out the whole time she was there?
Mother-in-law?
In-laws.
In-laws.
Not once was there any call or text message. Not even when she came back did the topic come up.
Wow.
And her husband told her that, that's his mum. He doesn't understand why no one couldn't have just checked up. Hold on. My husband told me he told them about my mum, so I don't understand why no one could have just checked up on me or at least called my mum. The next time we saw my in-laws, the next day I came back from Korea, they were over for dinner. I waited to see what they were going to talk about, and as they continued discussing what cows they wanted to buy, I left the room and didn't come out for the rest of the night. When they left, my husband angrily confronted me, telling me how disrespectful I was. I honestly didn't have it in me anymore to fight. I just packed my bags and booked the next flight to Korea. All my husband's and in-laws' message and phone calls are being ignored because I just can't stand their disrespectful behaviour. And to hear my husband calling me disrespectful was enough. Maybe I'm overreacting, but honestly, this behaviour is exhausting. I deal with it every time we go out and I'm done. I don't want to be surrounded by people like this, and I'd rather focus my attention on my mum.
I don't blame her at all. You see, it's only so much disrespect you can take from someone. And if your side of family, is nice and polite and doing all the right things that in-laws should do, but the other side ain't returning it, it just means that you're in the wrong relationship. You're with the wrong family.
And as she said, hereditary, it's a lack of regard.
Yeah.
It's all to do with how they were brought up.
That's what
they
it is.
were brought up to be like that.
Disrespectful,
selfish, and
arrogant. What I mean?
Just no thought for other people's feelings. If you're in the gym, people have got to go home. People are trying to tidy up, and then you're strolling out at 9:15.
But some people say, some people are like that. It's not like that. Some people just believe because they're there spending their money, they have the right. Do you get what I mean? I'm spending my money. I'm still eating. I know you're closed at 9, but you can wait on me.
Okay, so why didn't they call the family, the mum?
Because they don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah,
There's no way. They just don't care.
There's no two ways about it. You know what I mean? When you care for someone, you check up on them. If you go out, you want to make sure tell them to be safe out there. If they haven't come back in, you want to call upon them and you want to check on them and see how is it going on out there. You know what I mean? Worse if you travel. If you travel to another country to visit somebody, you know what I mean, is for you to make sure they arrive safe, you know what I mean, and everything.
But they're just ignorant to the facts.
Yeah.
Because the husband was upset that she left the room and didn't come back.
Yeah, because that's his family and he's part of his family. So you should show respect to my family, but we won't show respect to your family.
Yeah. So at least she's got peace of mind.
Yeah, because she packed her bag.
And she left because she can't control people, places, or things.
Yeah, that's what it is. But she controls her own destiny.
Yes.
That's why I always say to people, like, you can't, we have this conversation many times, and I say to you, you are in control of your destiny.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't turn to someone else to make your destiny right for you, because they will not see they won't know what's best for you. It's even for like me and you in a relationship, even though we're married for many years, I won't know what's best for you. You know what's best for you. I can only advise you on what I think is right or what's wrong or what you should do from what you shouldn't do. So, but I can't dictate and tell you that's what you have to do. Or this is better for you. You should know if I do that, this is what's going to happen. The circumstance, the outcome. You understand me? So for her, packing her bag, walking away from that relationship, she could have not done you know what I mean? She has done the best thing ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I wonder if the tables were turned, how things would pan out. If his mum had the cancer.
If his mum had the cancer? Well, if his mum had the cancer, he would expect her to be kissing his mum's ass.
Or would he just be like, oh yeah, she's got cancer, but, I'm going to go to the Red Lobster because I'm hungry. They might still have the same behavior and no, they wouldn't have the same attitude towards his mum because he was angry that she left the room.
Yeah.
So he would want her to.
He would want her to bloody kiss his mom's ass. You know what I mean? Oh, you should be checking up on my mom. Why are you not doing this?
I wonder why he doesn't understand.
Because culture imbalance. You know, culture imbalance. She is from a different culture and he's from a different culture. So there's two culture coming together and it can cause a dent in any relationship if you are not willing to learn. I am from a Jamaican background, but I make sure that when we started to date, you know me, you said to me, babes, this is what we do in a Ghanaian household. You greet everyone from one way around. And even though I am adamant and I'm thinking like, me just want to greet whom I feel, left, right, zigzag, up and down. But I had to do it. And I done it a few times, of course. So I'm here whispering, say I'd never. But you know what I mean? She's trying to show me up.
Can I say something?
No,
Tribe?
you can't show me up on the podcast like that.
It's not.
I know
it's not about you.
But I know I've done it though. How many times?
You've done it.
So why you about you never?
Let me speak. Let me say what I got to say. Tribe, when we had, our son was about 4 and the whole greeting thing started and I was telling my son, 4 or 5, I was telling them, right, start from there and go around and shake everybody's hand. What did he do?
What did I do?
Mr. Troy was like, you don't have to do that. You know, Pickney not have to do it. The children, them not have to do it. That's just for you and your culture. Let the children be free.
You know what? This is what we talk. Wait. This is what we say when we talk about cultural imbalance. This is what I'm saying. I'm teaching my child my part of my culture, which you didn't respect. In my culture, we don't need to walk around and shake anybody's hand from left to right or right to left. We don't. We can walk in and say, good evening, sir. Good evening, madam. Okay, cool. We didn't have to do that.
Another culture imbalance, Tribe.
Here we go.
When we first was dating.
Yeah.
And I used to introduce him. This is Auntie, I don't know, Auntie...
Nora. Let's use that name.
Auntie Namakuma.
Namakuma, yeah.
What would Troy do? Is it your mum's sister? Is it your mum's sister? Are your mother's sister? No. I know my auntie. I know my auntie then. That is not my auntie. That's not my uncle.
Let me reach out to some Jamaican people.
No, Troy, because you have changed. Now you call them auntie this and uncle that. So you can't even go on like...
I don't know the name, but you know what I mean? That they are my auntie. I just out of courtousy, like me used to say Mr.
Yeah, but why couldn't you do it out of courtesy then?
Because me stubborn, my hard back, me a turtle.
Listen,
tough
you're
shell.
very stubborn.
Tough shell, lobster. You know, I'm just saying this. Sometimes we can be adamant in our stance not to learn other people's culture, and that's when it becomes a problem.
But I just thought of something. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's because you're patriotic and very proud of your country, so you still want to maintain your
you understand.
Pride.
Yeah, and that's what it is. You can be very patriotic about your stance because of this is how we grow. This is what we believe in. This is what we burn out. This is what we not accept. You understand me? But culture can be good. Learning another culture can be good because it open your eyes to see how people deal with situation differently. You understand me? Because if I never married to you or I never been around the Ghanaian culture, then I wouldn't see certain things and know certain things, and then I just have to accept it. You understand me? But if I didn't, I would have burned out a lot of things because I say, no, when I damn thing, I burn that. When I do that, because I'm adamant that I'm taking my stance.
What is the most valuable thing you've learned about Ghanaian culture? That's the first question.
I don't even know. And I can't even, I don't want to lie to you and say, oh, I've actually learned this. You know what I mean? And this is eye-opener. You know what I mean? For me, I just know that when I came into the Ghanaian community, our culture, our family, you know what I mean, I was treated well. They love me, they respect me, they make me feel welcome. You understand? And I loved it. And maybe that's one of the reasons why I stayed within the community that long.
That's not what you were going to... You were just going to say, well, I stayed with you this long.
I love you. I would never say such thing.
I knew it.
I never said such thing.
I just knew it.
I never said...
love me.
So I love Ghanaian culture.
I just knew it.
But I don't love you. Is that what you're saying? If you say so, then that's what it is.
There's been
that's
a few podcasts where I've been telling you to go.
Oh, you're still telling
Read
me to
between
go.
the lines.
Between the lines are words. Right.
What do I love about Jamaica? And the thing is, to be honest, the thing is, I think as parents, we have been blending 3 different cultures. And I don't think that's easy. We've been blending British culture, Ghanaian culture, and the Jamaican culture.
Yeah, it can be a bit daunting and confusing at the same time, don't it? Because where do you stand?
Yeah,
You know what I
and
mean?
it's like, I never thought about the impact of teaching 3 different cultures. Like with our, I always used to educate them and say, listen, Jamaican culture, we don't do this.
That, yeah.
But if it's Ghanaian culture, then you do this.
Yeah.
So they know how to assimilate and adapt to wherever they are. Yeah.
Which is good though. So that's a good lesson being taught. So because the greatest thing is adapting.
Yeah, to your environment.
Because if you're not adapting to your environment, you're going to fail.
Yeah, but
You
then
understand?
if you think about it, like if I think about the workplace and like some of my Caribbean friends, because they're not all Jamaican, some of my Caribbean friends, they don't adapt to certain things because it's a trigger. Like it just reminds them of slavery. Do you know what I mean? So like if you're talked to in a certain way, you don't.
No, I just don't want to be disrespected. I don't think of slavery. I've never thought of slavery.
Not slavery, but it's like if somebody's telling you what to do.
No, I just feel like if you're telling me in a bad way, then I feel like you're disrespecting me. But if my boss said to me, oh, can you go and do that?
No, but that's not.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But if people saying it in a disrespectful way, like telling me to do something that I'm not meant to do, like somebody come and say, oh, jump. What am I jumping for? Do you get what I mean? Oh, get up from here and go over there. Why am I getting up for? You understand me? You're taking me out of my place because you want to see me do something silly or stupid. Then that's when my anger comes out.
The hardest thing for me in parenting has been the discipline side of things. Because when you're disciplined harshly as an African, sometimes it's too hard. And then when they go to school, the teachers are like, this is too harsh. But then if you do it the British way, it's like they don't care. Like they're still going to do what they want anyway.
Yeah,
and
so
then,
it's the culture. As I say, it's the environment you're in. The British culture don't want you to, you know what I mean? Maybe growing up in Jamaica, we get smacked. Or probably Africa, you get smacked. But growing up in London or in the British culture, they don't want you to slap the child.
Them, yeah.
You understand me? So that's an imbalanced culture that you got to deal with. Do I slap my child or do I not slap my child? You know what I mean? But as I said, you can find a way of disciplining your child without have to abuse your child. Because
smacking and abuse is 2 different things.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you're mixing them together.
No, I'm not mixing them together because somebody can slap their child in an abusive way. Not a little tap on the leg, don't do it. Or a tap on the bum, don't do it. It's using a pot, a chair, whatever it is.
A spoon.
Yeah, so that's abusing the child by you're disciplining the child, but you're disciplining the child in an abusive way. That's what it is. Because tapping your child and say, hey, don't do that. That's not abuse. You're enforcing
the law
act.
says if you leave a mark.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But the people who leave the mark are abusing the child.
Yeah.
Because you don't need to hit the child 50 times for them to get the same message you're sending across.
But I remember when I was in the bank once and I was in the queue and this lady had her child and the child wasn't listening. She was a Nigerian lady. The child wasn't listening. And then in the bank, she took off her slippers and whacked the child with the slippers. It was a big commotion.
Yeah, because you will now reach for an object to do the disciplinary. Because she could have
But if
just
she
used
was
her
in the
hand.
banking in Nigeria...
Then it probably would have been acceptable. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just speculating. But I'm just saying, is the fact that she reached for a weapon because the shoes is
not a weapon.
Yeah, but that's what it is. She's using the shoes as a weapon. Anything you use to inflict pain on somebody is a weapon. Whether you want to believe it or not. If I use this phone and I hit you, I use it as a weapon. The chair, the cup is a weapon. But if she use her hand and tap you on her shoulder or whatever and say, hey, stop. Or grab the person, hold him firmly and say, I look at me in the face and say, stop. It's different. You're not using a weapon. You're restraining the person and delivering in order. You understand me? But the moment she take off her shoes, she using a weapon, an object to beat the shit out of that child. And then in a place where it's not acceptable, in a public place.
But can I say
But that's telling you what she does at home. If she does that in the public, she would probably do worse at home.
Can I say, though, I don't know why, but I felt embarrassed.
Yeah, you would feel embarrassed. I would feel embarrassed too. For the woman, not even for the child. I feel embarrassed for the woman, like, oh gosh, here we go, hide your face. You understand? I feel sorry for the child, but I feel embarrassed for her because she is just...
Yeah, but that's kind of being a sellout.
Why is it a sellout?
Because you know that's what happens. But now you're acting like...
No, it's not a sellout. That's what I'm saying. It's where you do what you do. And if you're in a public, you discipline your child different. But if you're at home, you probably discipline the child different because you probably tell him, go sit in the corner. You understand? In the naughty corner, sit on the step, wherever. Go to bed because when you're in public, you can't put them to sleep. So you're going to talk to them different. You're about to go down to their levels, look into their face, let them know that you're seriously...
That's why you have to have the same approach. So for me, when my voice goes very quiet and I'm having to explain to you
tactics.
Why what you are doing is inappropriate.
Tactics.
Yeah? The voice in the house goes quiet so that when we're on the street, the voice goes quiet. It's the same. Because if I am shouting at the top of my voice in the house, I can't shout at the top of my voice in the street, so you're not going to listen to me.
Yeah.
But if I go like this, silent and deadly,
somebody is in trouble.
Trouble.
Right. So, Tribe, get involved in the comments. Let us know, man. I love when you guys get involved, man. It makes so much sense. You know, it keeps the vibe going, you know what I mean? It keeps the interacting going. At least we know we're a tribe, innit? We have to talk to each other. So jump in the comments and let us know, you know what I mean? What do you think? How do you discipline your child? And, you know what I mean? What do you think about different cultures coming together to start a family? You know, how do you deal with something like that?
Tribe, before you start saying you are like the woman in the bank, think twice before you write it down.
Write it down before you lay it down. All right. So I got a random for you guys. But this random is not a dad's joke, you know, because I'm always...
Oh, thank God.
I'm always think...
You have learned.
I have not learned. I've just take a break this time. So next week you get one. Next week you get back the dad's joke. But this one is kind of, you know what I mean... It's really how you get to certain people. Anyway, let me just let you guys hear it instead of me waffling away. I called a married lady who was owing me money, but she did not pick my calls. I called 10 times more, still no answer. Knowing that her husband was not at home, I decided to send her this message. Hello, Missy. I am not calling you for the money. I just want to tell you that 2 girls were fighting over your husband in town today. It was a big fight, and he was just there watching until one of the girls managed to escape into his car and they drove off. After some minutes, she called me, but I ignored her calls. She kept calling me, and I found 21 missed calls from her and a message which reads, "Where was the fight? Where did they go? Did you notice these girls? Please tell me. I am falling apart." I just read and didn't respond. She called 5 more times and I didn't answer. Then another message from her. I have your money. So can we meet so you can tell me more? Then I replied, okay. Can you send it to me through mobile app so that when I pass the filling station to refill, then I will pick you up and drive you to one of the girls' house because I know them. After 2 minutes, I checked my account balance and my money was fully paid, I then switched off my phone and put my phone and then went back to sleep again.
Is that it?
You don't get it?
He got his money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Is it a true story?
I don't know if it's a true story. It's a random, mate.
It is random, but I'm glad he got his money, and that is the way he went.
That's
it was interesting, but I thought it was going to be like ending with a joke.
That's a joke. The ending, after 2 minutes, I checked my account balance and my money was fully paid. I then switched off my phone and slept like a baby.
That's good.
So she's going to be waiting for him to come tell him to pick him to where the girls are and all this fight.
And he's sleeping.
He's sleeping because there was none. He just got his money. So it's just the way he did it. She did not get it. I hope you guys
So next time someone's got your money, do that.
Try that option. So I got a story here.
Sip your tea. It's getting cold.
That's fine. I got a story here. Okay, it might be a little short read, guys. Bear with me. I am 75 years old and I am living on my own. This is not the way I wanted my life to turn out, but this is how it is. I have my own house and I have a caregiver. She is the one who is responsible for taking care of me because I am not very well. My children visit me every day and they see to it that I am in good shape. They pay my caregiver very well. I get the best treatment. My caregiver is married and I have given her permission to invite her husband and her children to stay there whenever she feels like it. They are all like my family. My children love my caregiver's children and they even assist them by buying uniforms and books for them. I have a secret, I must tell you.
Oh, no. She slept with the caregiver's husband.
This woman has me very concerned because recently she offered herself to me.
Oh.
I was shocked.
Wait, is that person a man or a woman?
This is a man telling the story. He's 75. I was shocked. She says she has been admiring me and I have been so kind to her.
She wants the money.
She said my family is doing things for her that her husband has never done. This is a real test of my faith. She suggested that we could have an affair. I did not think that I should dismiss her, but now I believe that she should go. I am in a wheelchair, so she does everything for me, including giving me a daily bath. These days, she touches me inappropriately. I told her that she would get me in trouble. She said the only trouble I will get into is if I tell anybody that she is touching my private parts. I asked her if her husband is not satisfying her, and she said that has nothing to do with both of us. I told her that I cannot do what she wants me to do, and she said if I don't do it, somebody else will do it. Do you think that I should tell my children what I am experiencing with this woman? I can hear them cursing her, and I do not want that to happen.
This is what he needs to do.
She has been a great help to me. She's only 41 years. Please give me some suggestion.
This is what he needs to do. He needs to say this. Enid, I am going to say this one last time. Stop touching me. I don't like it. I don't want to do this with you, yeah? If you do it one more time, then I'm going to tell my kids because it's too much for me. And I like having you around and you've done a lot for me, but obviously it's going to levels that I don't want it to go to, yeah? So please stop because now my kindness has turned into my kryptonite.
Yeah, I think...
that's what he needs to say.
And it's so funny, yeah? It's so funny. Because, and we said this, men who is being abused, whether physically and mentally, it sounds away when you speak up because you're a man. But watch this. If I flip the script, if that was a 75-year-old woman who has a caregiver of a 41-year-old man and is playing with her parts while giving her a shower, you'd hear that, oh, him abuse the old woman, you know. It's a man, You understand me? And you understand what I mean? So in my idea is, if you tell the children, it's a massive thing. I think I would go with what you said, is let her know that, listen, we can't do this anymore.
Not anymore. We can't.
No, anymore. As in,
They weren't doing it.
No, they're not doing it. What I'm saying, we can't do this anymore, meaning the
This
care
back
you're
and
giving
forth.
me, I think is best if you go your way and I get somebody else who's gonna respect my privacy and respect me enough to know you're giving me a bath, just bath me and done. You understand
know
what I
what?
mean?
Yeah, and you're right. Because when she took it there, the friendship is over. The relationship is over.
Yeah.
Because even if she is bathing you normally, your mind is still
every time she's gonna go that area, you're automatically waiting to see what she's gonna do. So you no longer trust her, knowing that, you know what, she's gonna touch me.
One
so let me just...
lovely friend that I had many years ago called Ola. You know what she said to me? She said, virginity is like a balloon. Once it's gone, it's never coming back.
True?
Oh, no, trust.
Oh, trust is like a virginity.
Yeah, once it's gone, it's never come back. But I don't know where the balloon came into
I don't know. It probably have a significant...
We'll have to
once the
work
balloon gone in the sky, that's it, you know.
No, but once it's popped.
Yeah, or it's gone in the air. If it's popped, it that's it. And if it's float away, you ain't getting that back. You know what I mean? That's going to pop somewhere in the sky.
And that's like trust. So he's broken the trust.
Yeah, she's broken the trust. You know what I mean? So telling the child, it's going to be difficult to explain to the child why you don't want her no more.
Tell the truth, because the thing is, he's old.
Yeah.
And is it hard to get care?
Yeah. And yeah, it's hard to get care. Plus, she's really been good to the family and everything.
I think if he tells her he's going to tell the kids if she doesn't do it,
she'll probably stop.
She'll stop.
Yeah.
Unless you don't want any more.
How much man out there right now say, boy, you know, somebody that would love to be in that situation. Yo, you have some people out there, I tell you, so them think different, you know, but me I tell you, have some man out there right now say, yo, me, like, me, like, I'm not getting nothing, I love a woman to come play with the little taja, you know.
Listen, I've heard a lot of stories about these people up in age.
I said this, let's just bring this back. A lot of people still do, because even vice versa, where I think we told a story where an old woman had the young boy working for him, and she wanted him to sleep with her. So it's vice versa. If you look at it, you see what I mean? Is now the boss wants the carer to sleep with them. Now the carer wants to sleep with the boss. And these things happen all the time because sex is one of the things that...
His wife must have died.
Yeah, that long time. They know nobody. You know what I mean? The sex is a thing that can be uncontrollable, not in a bad way, but meaning even though you're in age, you probably still want sex.
Yeah.
You know
but
what I
if
mean?
you look at that man,
having sex
he
with the wrong
doesn't.
person. Yeah, he doesn't want it.
He's probably got aches and pains.
Not even that. I think maybe if she was single.
Because it said she's testing his integrity.
Right. So I think if she was single, it would be a different scenario. We would never heard of this story. But it's the fact that she's married and have kids. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm asked the question. Isn't your husband satisfying you enough? You understand? But her words is she wants to get into that relationship with him, but it's also for the money. In some way, somehow. Because I don't think she's just so horny that she's playing with his little dead willy that she really wants to be with him. Because she knows at his age, if he's not using a Viagra, probably that thing will not stand up. I've never seen a 75-year-old man penis. So I don't know if it works still. So let me not say that. You know what I mean? When I get to that age, I will know if it works. You know what I mean? But it's really shocking, you know what I mean, for him to do that.
You know what my ending statement to this is?
Yeah.
Life is full of pleasures. And you just got to be wise to know what pleasures to indulge in and what ones not to.
Yeah. I believe so. I think, you know what I mean, you gotta know who's want to be on your play field.
Because you got to count the cost.
Yeah, yeah.
If I indulge in this, what is going to be impacted?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You gotta know who's on your play field, who's willing to play your game. Because not everybody wants to play your game. It's not
But you might want to play
the
the game, but it's not always right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not gonna be.
Imagine if he indulges in that and then he loses his children.
Yeah.
And grandchildren or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In terms of, you know, but at his age, in there to kick the bucket, you know, probably losing anything not gonna really be a problem to him, innit? But
right.
Me saying that, you know what I mean, I am the, we call it the advocate. I don't want to say devil's advocate, but I'm the guy, you know what I mean, that's just crazy, different. But with that, on that note,
decide in your pleasures.
yeah, but on that note, I'm just saying, you know who is for you and who is not for you. You know, I think if somebody says they're not interested in your advance, then keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Don't violate the thing.
Secure your dollar.
Right, here we go. I don't like would you rathers, but I'm going to do it anyway.
I don't know what you're
Just
doing
like
anyway.
how you said you're not going to do the dad joke this week. But
it's back next week.
Would you rather be able to communicate with animals, but they only ever ask you for food, or be able to speak every language fluently, but every time you do, you have to sing instead of talk?
Sing the language.
Uh-huh. You like singing? Or,
hey, good morning. What's your name? Where you from?
Yeah.
I like your curves. I like the way you shake your bum.
Oh.
I'll tell you, man. You know what? I'm going to sing the language.
Yeah. I like singing, so I definitely would choose that. Because what's the point in talking to animals and they can only ever ask me for food?
And please, guys, don't steal my lines. I've just copyright those lines here. Don't steal it and put it in a song. All right. On that note, from me, Troy, to you, Tribe, I just want to say it is an honor to have you guys tuning in every week to the Chatz and Topz podcast.
Here's to the ones that we got.
Boom.
Here's to the wish you were here, but you're not.
Boom.
But the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Cheers for the ones here today.
Woo, woo.
Cheers to the ones that we lost on the way. And the drinks bring back all the memories. And the memories bring back you.
See you next week.
Memories bring back you.
Hey guys, we have come to the end of another amazing podcast. What I want from you guys is to send us in your dilemmas.
Emma,
So each week we're going to select one of your dilemmas and broadcast it in our podcast and discuss it and dissect it. Also, please do like, comment, and share this podcast.
I'll see you later, guys. And remember, thunder strike your enemies.
I beg you like up the thing, comment and thing, subscribe, yeah.